Hi, my name is Nanna and it is mid-December 2023 and winter solstice is rapidly approaching, and we have had the first heavy snowfall of the year. But now, with the rains, all the snow is washed away and the land looks barren, muddy, and the sky grey, and there's a need to snuggle up and be warm and wear warming colours and clothes and be cosy. When I spoke with Yvonne, we thought of two poems, for today, and they're still very hectic, challenging times. Many people are suffering. So many wars, so many unresolved conflicts in the world, and within families and within individuals. There's a need for some compassion and some peacefulness. The other day in meditation, the word that kept coming up for me was peace, peace. And I feel there's a need to find and connect with a place of peacefulness inside. So that can be the place that we emanate from in our connections. And also, obviously, there's a huge need for calling forth peace into the world. And it's also hectic in the build-up to holiday season. People are rushing around with all sorts of whatever it is they think they need to rush around for. It's a busy, busy time. And so it occurred to me that the right poem for this time was a poem called The Gift of Solitude. Yes, we need one another. We need deep, meaningful connection. But we also need the gift of solitude, space, silence, a moment within which to connect with something deeper than all the busyness and commune for a time with existence. And I'd like to suggest that even in the hecticness of these days, even in the possible busyness of Christmas or the holiday season, there can be a need to take some time out. And it also speaks of the difference between loneliness, which to me is the absence of something, longing for somebody else, longing for yourself, the absence of something, and aloneness, which is the presence of yourself. And not to decry loneliness, millions and millions of people suffer from it. I have it at times. But there is also a reason why it's said the cure for loneliness is solitude, because it can offer that opportunity to reconnect with yourself, which being out and about with lots of people actually may not afford you. So here's the first poem, The Grace of Solitude. A lone apple dangles at the end of a twig. A lone apple dangles at the end of a twig, its rosy face capped with snow. I am reminded, aloneness has its beauty too. We need one another, we do. That generous, heart-warming sense of connection, it is precious. Even the apple tree bears more than one fruit. But we also need silence and the sacred space to connect with the inner and remember the gift of ourselves in communion with existence, like that apple dangling alone, but not lonely, at the end of a twig, inhabiting the grace of its solitude. So there, my lovelies, the first poem. And here's the second poem. I shall have a sip of tea and then launch into the second poem. I felt to share it because I feel at this time there can be a great need for comfort, for comforting. And many are struggling, and at those moments it can be nice perhaps to receive a notion that could bring some comfort. And this poem has a tendency to comfort my heart, and maybe it will comfort yours too. It's called Snow Angels. Perhaps they're not snowflakes falling from the sky. Perhaps they're not snowflakes falling from the sky. Perhaps they are tiny, tiny angels, here to tell us, for all we may be struggling, essentially, we are wanted here and held by existence. We are loved.